1A.
Hello everyone, welcome to the very first match in the InukiTV Tournament Saga 1 Round 1A. We have Thompson, Nagant and Osha versus Biiskaps and Godwin, and it looks like it's a chilly morning on the map Farmland. This fire looking deliciously warm, as am I. Now, a few things I've already got to mention is that Godwin and Biiskaps have decided to choose the Commonwealth as their nation. Godwin spawning on the left, which means Biiskaps will be on the right. Are they going to split their infantry up? Because remember, this is a 3v3 map. Godwin's heading left. He's already sending some troops into the middle, and Biiskaps is doing exactly the same. So they're going to be working together in the center. Now, their opponents, Thompson, Nagant, and Osha, are playing as the Soviets. Of course, both teams know this. They've seen each other's factions in the lobby screen. However, prior to that, neither teams knew what faction each other was going to pick. And this is the result. We have the Commonwealth versus the Soviets. Thompson Nagant on this left-hand side, going to be opposing Godwin today. Already some wall-on-wall action as they fire across from each other. Grenade goes down from Thompson Nagant, kills two guys. Luckily enough, their bodies protect that third soldier behind that wall. How lucky he is. In the middle, we have Godwin trying to move up into the center. Already some carnage going off on the greenhouses. Poor little greenhouses experiencing some destruction already. Thompson Nagant straight down that road. Godwin has not secured his perimeter, which means all these soldiers have now just infiltrated. And Godwin hiding behind this wall, firing in, but there's just not enough soldiers there to return fire and get rid of all those guys. But half-track approaches. It's a good early half-track. It can definitely force these guys to retreat. If it doesn't get too close, it won't experience any AT grenades at all. So it's getting a little bit too close now, though. Very risky. Now doing a little backpedaling. Now going forward. Make up your mind, Godwin. Over in the center, we've got some really heavy arced grenades. Just going straight over the building. Doesn't get rid of that guy, though. The zone is still neutral. The half-track decides to move round. It's a really good decision here from that half-track. It's gone round the side. Far enough not to get hit by an AT grenade. It's completely safer, though. Now it's being a little bit too risky. There could be guys around there. I saw a few people from Thompson Nagant run behind that building. But the 50 cal doesn't seem to... well, it guns down one person by the looks of it. Does appear that he has successfully repelled that attack. It seems like this soldier is going to hop into the half-track. Making up the numbers just in case one guy gets gunned down. We have a couple of guys in the Commonwealth team hanging it out in the zone. Unfortunately, though, the Soviets are continuing to cap that, which means they have more soldiers hanging out in the back of that building. There's a grenade going off behind it, trying to get rid of those soldiers behind. Doesn't look like they successfully did that, though. Currently, the Soviets now have the advantage. The points are ticking up for them. The half-track supporting the center now, just destroying these greenhouses. Poor greenhouses. Really not surviving long. We have Biiskaps Tetrarch, which we saw earlier said in chat. I'm not sure the half-track... Oh god, phew. I'm so glad that wasn't in direct control. That would have been catastrophic if that crashed into the Tetrarch. But I'm curious to know if Biiskaps and Godwin are using any sort of communications devices. They are talking using chat. Hull destroyed. Oh no, for the half-track. That's a bit of a loss early game. Never mind. We still have a Tetrarch to use. And here it comes around on the left-hand side. Going to avenge its fallen half-track. Brava. Already opening fire and keeping its distance this time. Not going to make the same mistake as the half-track. Do notice the map on the top left-hand side. It seems like there's very little forces happening in the middle. And on the far-hand right point for the Commonwealth. And Biiskaps saying, take the Tetrarch. And Godwin's like, yeah, cool. He's so happy, man. He's so happy. He's been given the gift of life. And, well, more appropriately, death. But let's not dwell on that, though. We have a T-26 in the back for Thompson Nagant, which is going to be a competitor. That extra T being because I'm so excited finally this tournament is underway. We have an MG in the middle as well for the Soviets, and grenades going off as well, continuing to push up through the central position. Godwin and Biiskaps are in some serious trouble, and this Tetrarch is also... It went too far out near to the road, and the T-26 got it right in the side. It's still repairable, though. It was still repairable. Now it's not still repairable. Never mind, it's still early game. Biiskaps suggesting that we should get some Matalad tanks out. So Godwin, in response, does get a Matalad, but unfortunately, Biiskaps asks the question and gets a Matalad himself. It's like, do you want to get this? Do you want to get this vehicle? I'll get this vehicle, and then you both end up spawning the vehicle. I think this is why we should have communications, not using the in-game chat. That takes time. Anyway, this guy's retreating. He's doing the right thing. He's being under fire from all the infantry in the center from the Soviet forces. And it seems like this squad leader dropped his weapon somehow, but he's gone ahead and picked it back up and resumes firing on the enemy. But now the Matalad's approaching. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to shoot that squad leader. That was already killed before the Matalad could get there. Godwin is making quite a heavy push on that left. It's Biiskaps in a lot of trouble at the moment. He has no infantry in the middle. He has one single unit on that right-hand side. He does have an assault force right now. He's got his Matalad and a group of infantry. They're going to push to the center. They need to take out that machine gun, and the Matalad can definitely do that. But what do the Soviets have that we don't know about? We can't see because there is the fog of frickin' war. Yeah, how many times have I mentioned that already? Anyway, taking a deep breath, because I think we're also going to get a push on the left from Godwin. Although it's just the Matalad, and it seems like only 2 more infantry on either side of this Matalad. It's unfortunate he has no infantry to support and push up. Oh no! Already an AT shot from Shutter. Shutter's AT shot was so shotterific. It's just already taken out this Matalad. That Matalad just... No, it's on fire. It's lost its turret. It's completely no longer salvageable. This is a huge problem now. We've already lost a half-track, a Tetrarch, and a Matalad. That poor Matalad. Anyway, the game must resume. It has to resume. We're fighting for the position in round 2 here. It's not just any game. It's the InukiTV Tournament Saga 1 Round 1A. And if that's a bit of a mouthful, then, well, I'm sorry, but I have to call it something. And, you know, I do the file management and make sure I save these games so I can access them later. Otherwise, I'll just lose track of them when my hard drive inevitably fails, like my pronunciation of certain long words. Now, during that tangent, it seems Godwin has now got some infantry troops up into the zone. He's got Anzacs, which are a special type of infantry for the British. These are definitely going to make a strong push. And the Matilda has yet to encounter any sort of anti-tank emplacements or a tank of Thompson Nagant's own. So maybe he's waiting to try and get, lure that Matilda in and then get an AT infantry shot on it so he doesn't have to invest heavily in anti-tank weaponry. But we're going to have to see. Hopefully Godwin doesn't just charge that straight in without infantry. He is doing a good job at the moment, getting very close to that point. As for the right-hand side, which is hardly seeing anything on the field, we have a half-track full of infantry. I think that, it looks like it's turned around to go to the middle. As for this left-hand side, doesn't look like Matilda's moving up. It's still waiting on infantry to approach. Every second that Matilda's there now, though, is very dangerous, as Thompson Nagant could be bringing up anything. He could be bringing up a tank of his own to deal with this right now. Maybe he's feeling a little bit endangered. That's enough for him to spend. He's definitely got the points. We haven't seen anything equivalent to what Godwin has. So if you think about it in a logical way, what we see from the UK forces, we can sort of expect to see the equivalent for the Soviets, not really less, unless there was like, I don't know, 5 T-26s on the field, for example. Then we can say, okay, he definitely can't get a medium or heavy tank out. He's definitely not saving. But we haven't seen a lot of infantry. We've only seen 1 T-26 and a machine gun at the moment. So they definitely have points. We can be certain of that. Now Godwin bringing up some commandos, splitting them. We've got 4 troops to the right hand side. We also have a mortar as well, which will be supporting the left and the middle by the looks of it. Godwin now requesting an AT gun, but Biiskaps in his reply, only middle. Not sure if that's an answer to that question or not. Maybe he's saying that the AT gun should go in the middle. Not sure why, we've not seen any tanks, but always, you know, an AT gun, some sort of anti-vehicle weapon, mobile anti-vehicle weapon, anything a tank, is good to have, just in case your enemy brings it up. Something you can't respond to and then just annihilates your front line. But it seems like Shotta has dominant control over the center. He's hiding behind these greenhouse pipes, pinning the commandos down, and here comes the Cromwell from Biiskaps, but he needs to look out if he's going to charge that in. We've got a few infantry to the left-hand side, hiding behind a wall, but it doesn't look like they're going to be moving up with the Cromwell. This Cromwell is in danger. Oh, but we do have a half-track full of infantry. I completely missed this. Going to be assaulted, but look out! Hull damage as a machine gunner at the back lines as well. All the infantry pour out, and they're in some serious danger now as they take fire from that machine gun. They need to run to cover. Cromwell runs up and gets hit in the side. Cromwell, oh no! Oh, all these tanks are they're just not surviving long at all. Cromwell can't even save its buddies in the half-track. It's just completely gone. Biiskaps, what happened? Dude, you just gotta go to school, dude. You just gotta go to school. Seems like we have another MG moving into position on that right-hand side. You would have thought one is enough, but no, we're going to move more to the center. You can see on the map, though, there was a huge line of infantry, huge line of red dots. Unfortunately, when I come back here, that infantry spotting, it died pretty damn fast. So anyway, we can't see that. That's a shame. Grenades being thrown on this left-hand side for Thompson Nagant. He's really pushed Godwin right back to his zone. What is going to be the response for this? Is Thompson Nagant going to push up to this zone, or are they just going to hold out on 3 points, forcing their enemy to constantly attack them, which it does seem like Godwin and Biiskaps are doing. They're being very aggressive, and that just means that the Soviets just have to sit there and make sure they have an excellent defense, really weakening the amount of manpower that Biiskaps has. Yeah, I'll combine those names. What the hell not? I did that very subconsciously, more subconscious than subconscious could ever be. This mortar's slugging away at the middle. It doesn't seem like Thompson Nagant's going to deal with that anytime soon. This guy seems to be really loving this Cromwell. It seems a little bit glitchy, actually. He's almost in it, but you know, he's just right behind that. We have a second Cromwell from Biiskaps. Is this going to fail like the first? And I feel like that's such a harsh word. And there's that AT gun we saw earlier. I can't remember if it was Godwin or Biiskaps requesting it, but there is one now. We also have a half-track as well. Maybe that could have carried it to the zone. Maybe it did. Didn't see that. Interesting to see what this half-track is trying to achieve, though. It's being defensive at the moment. Needs to look out, though. There is still that T-26 hanging around in the back somewhere. I don't remember seeing it get taken out by anything. We have a T-34 on the right-hand side. That's going to be a competitor for that Cromwell. Hiding behind these rocks somewhere, we can see that one commando chilling out in the water. A lot of infantry now moving up, going to support this Cromwell as well, but is it going to be enough? They need to get rid of that machine gun before that infantry can advance. Crew already injured from that T-34. This seems like the T-34 is getting the upper hand here. The Cromwell constantly has to reposition. The T-34 is just waiting till it pops out and it gets its track. It's not going to be able to move now, and that's a real big problem for this Cromwell and a real big problem for Biiskaps. He doesn't want to lose his second Cromwell. I think that would mark the end of the game almost. Track damage for the T-34 as well. That's evening things up almost slightly. Shotta isn't retreating, which means he feels very confident in taking that Cromwell down without losing it. And he takes a hit. But the next round he fires destroys that Cromwell, and now we have 2 dead Cromwells. That's really good news for Shotta and Thompson Nagant, but so much lost resources for Biiskaps.